All right, guys. Hey, here we go. We are going to try to teach you about samples, populations, and bias. And this is where we take three samples. So one, two, three samples, and we're going to combine them to make our surveys and samples a little bit more representative of the entire population. Okay. So let's see if we can do this problem. And then you should be able to do most of this boom card. We kind of scaffolded it in a way that it's kind of has baby steps to start with. Okay. So even though it looks really long, the problems are divided up into really simple, tiny parts. Okay. So anyway, of these three samples, which ones have bias? Okay. What is bias? Well, here's a definition of bias right here. Sampling bias occurs when some members of a population are systematically more likely to be selected in a sample than others. So when you do sampling, you try to not have bias at all. It's very, very difficult, though, to get rid of bias in sampling. Uh, so let's see which of these samples had the most bias, okay? Because they all have a titch, actually. Uh, So sample A, 41 people like to ride roller coasters in a sample of 50 people. So 41 out of 50 liked roller coasters. So this was collected from the people standing in line for the Samurai roller coaster. So that seems to me to have quite a bit of bias because these people were in line for a roller coaster. So of course they like roller coasters, unless they're trying to torture their kid or something. Okay. So I'm pretty sure the answer is sample A, but let's just take a look at the other one. Sample B, 4 out of 25 like to ride the roller coaster. It says here 4 out of 25. This sample. So they sampled 20. Oh, they collected it from the first 25 people who came into the park. So to me, that has a little bit of bias, just a tiny bit, because it was a convenient sample. It was convenient to just sample the first 25 people who came into the park. So convenient samples sometimes have just a little bit of bias, and I feel like the first 25 people that came to the park were probably those gung-ho crazy people that love roller coasters and parks, and so maybe there was a little, but definitely A has more. Sample C, 52 people like to ride roller coasters in a sample of 100 people. This was collected from people in the food court. So again, it was convenient for them to just survey the people in the food court. So a convenient sample has a little bias. The best type of sample is a completely random sample, and none of these were random. But definitely A has the most bias. I'm going to change this to the most bias. Okay, sample A. Awesome. Next, same problem, but now we're going to combine the samples to make one large sample. So we're going to do 41 plus 4 plus 52. 41 plus 4 plus 52 to figure out how many. That was the number of people that liked roller coaster rides, right? Like. Those are the ones that liked the roller coasters out of each sample. So 41 plus 4 is 45 plus 52, I believe, is 97. 97. Okay. And then out of, so there was 50 people surveyed here, sampled here, 25 people sampled here, and 100 sampled here. So 50 plus 25 plus a hundo is going to get you 175. So do you see how you do that? So now we have one large sample. We combined these three samples to make this one big one. Now we're going to use that information 97 out of 175 to estimate the population. So now you look at how many guests there were, 2,000 guests. That goes here. And you're going to multiply that 97 over 175 times 2,000. We're going to do that with Desmo Scientific. So 90, so I got my fraction right here. So 97 out of 175. That was my survey, my big survey, like my combined survey. See, look, 97 out of 175 times, how many guests were there? 2,000 people at the park. So out of 2,000, so that's gonna give me the answer here. Oh, 1108.57. So I got to round to the nearest person, right? So that'd be 1109. Okay. 1109. Okay. Anyway, 1109 is going to be my answer for this one right here. So about 1,109 people out of the 2,000 probably like roller coaster. That's our estimate, right? We used our surveys combined times it by the total to get the our estimate for the 2,000 guests that like roller coasters. Whew. Go to work. See if you can do this. Email your teacher if you get stuck. See how far you can get.